What is up? Let's get the camera straight, man. Let's see if we can get this a little better. Okay, I hope that's a little bit straighter. I feel like it's crooked. I don't know. That's me. What's going on, everybody, man? I usually had a soundboard. We usually have a whole thing going on. I am here with the co-host, none other than Dr. Dead Specimen. How are you doing, sir?
I'm Doctor Dead Inside right now. Yeah, my headphone.
Mm.
I just got off work like an hour ago, so I'm a little dead inside, but that's
Ah,
okay.
it's good. This is going to be something very easy for us to talk about, something that we have discussed a little bit earlier, but now we get to bring it. It's something that's been out for a while, but nobody has seemed to bring it to the forefront, so we will be discussing it today. So before we get into it, I want to say, how's the audio? Everybody, is the audio good? Are we too loud? Do we need to turn anything? Do we got any, let us know.
I know I'm gonna be a little bit crusty. I'm using the Bluetooth headphones, but
Okay. Well, what we can do, let's see. Yeah, we can
oh hell
adjust
yeah,
it.
bro. We got Phil McCracken.
Phil McCracken, what's going on? Mo77, what's going on, my brother? Petrix, what's popping? Everybody tuning in. Yes, we got
I'm
some news to talk
thinking.
about with Sony, man. We
I'm
got
I'm
some big
thinking
news to
real
talk
quick.
about.
I swear to God, Petrix is rivaling Shane Cockburn for like most consistent viewer.
Oh, that's a challenge. You know what I mean? We got some deep news, and I'm glad all y'all here to tune in for it. I'm not sure if everyone has seen this, but I'm going to quickly just give a quick blarb, and then we'll watch the video. We're actually going to watch the video together. We're going to go to the post and discuss Sony. Possibly, is it over? You know what I mean? Is it over? What's happening? I don't know. The ball. I'm curious what Sony's going to do, but nonetheless, just to give the quick blarb. All right. Now you said Mo. You said the sound's low. Got you. Okay. That's why we asked. So sound low. Is that better? I know for me that might be a little bit better. All right. So an anonymous source. All right. Let's start with that. An anonymous source on GBA Temp posted about a company that's developed a wireless board for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 controllers. Yes, an anonymous source. Not a controller itself, though. Because I know a lot of people thinking a controller. You might think, oh, okay. Ooh, nah, this is bigger. This is a board that manufacturers, excuse me, it's late, excuse me, can actually use to be able to place inside of their controllers. Imagine a bunch of different third party manufacturers being able to now utilize this board to create competition within the controller market for Sony. That's the quick blarb. We're going to watch the video, but Dr. Specimen, before we watch the video, is there anything you want to add or say before we watch it?
So I just want to cite a tweet from someone who I would call a friend. We don't talk that much because unfortunately he's Japanese and doesn't speak a lot of English. We don't get to talk very often. But I'm just going to read off this post that he made on Twitter. It's got Kazuma X for those who are curious. Kazuma CX is their Twitter handle. So it says right here, I received an email with a video attached. The email address sent to the recipient was private and had only been given to specific teams. News about a low-cost wireless controller for PS4/5 with cheat functionality. The email says, hello, an anonymous source sent me a video about the work of a company that has successfully developed a third-party PlayStation 5, but also PlayStation 4 wireless controller. As their candid conversation suggests, not only will it lead to a much cheaper wireless controller, but as a very nice bonus, they also mention cheats. As for the cheats, they seem to be rapid-fire combo style, so turbo, for now, but time will tell. Since everything seems to be going well, they should be available fairly soon. The source is not very clear in the message, but it seems that they are more intent on supplying controller factories with an interface to make the controllers compatible rather than controller manufacturers.
Okay.
Um, Okay, I think that's a translation error, but I think you guys get the idea. And they seem confident that their solution will not be sabotaged by Sony with updates, following Sony's recent court setbacks over its abusive game controller monopoly and being ordered to pay a huge fine. This will not only please end users looking for a cheaper, better controller solution for their beloved PS5/4, but also lawmakers will not have to be bothered by anymore by Sony's abusive market dominance. Unless the company decides to go public, more details will likely be available soon.
Okay.
So
Now,
it's just
go
to
ahead.
like put a point on this. Completely different person. This was not correlated between Nick, me, or Kazuma. Kazuma put this post out. Then Nick got contacted by his source. I haven't been part of any of this. I've just talked to both of them. So this is apparently going around in the underground right now. So
Nice. Well said. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share that screen here. This is the actual GBA temp post. Okay? It says Sunday at 7:46. We're not going to read through everything right there, but you can see it on screen. But what I would like to do is see if we can play the video. Who knows? These videos get deleted or gone a lot of times. But let's see if we hit play here.
Check. Yeah, okay, it's a
oh,
latest
that's the same
version.
video.
Let's head on back to our game. Now I can show you things. So as you can see, all the buttons just work as normal. I can attack the guy. I mean, it's not gonna put up much fight, but whatever. But here's the neat thing I wanted to show you. Not only do all the buttons work, and this thing, of course, is gonna it's gonna have all the features that the Ru controller has, but it's gonna be way cheaper than the other ones. But we prepared it that for showing you that if I press this button here, it executes the grab combo.
Ah, nice.
And yeah, we're gonna put a whole bunch of other things in there, but for right now, that's just check.
So there you go. Now the video. Very quick. And Blizzard Fox, thank you. And soon we'll be bringing you in. I want to bring you in shortly, Blizzard Fox, after we go over a couple things. So we do want your opinion as well. Definitely hear about
I want
this.
to point something silly out real quick that I noticed. Can you full screen that real quick?
Yeah, okay, it's a
Pause it right there. Actually, keep it paused. Keep it paused. Just something I noticed. Look at that power strip. I am 99% sure that is a European power strip.
It is.
So this video is not coming out of China, which really surprises me.
That, you know, that's the first thing I thought looking at the video. But do we know if this has been something that's been brewing for a while? Right? Maybe it's, you know, technically we don't have any context. Maybe there's more to it. But let's go through the video slowly then, and let's see if there's anything we noticed. Right? You see the controller. What is the controller connected to? Is it just a power pack? Is that all that is?
I bet that's a battery bank. I bet that their prototype doesn't have a battery built in, so they just powered it USB.
Okay. All right. It seems like everything else is pretty standard. Looking around. TV, a couple wires. I can't tell if that's any extra wires or anything, but it doesn't seem to me. It's not a lot of wires.
Well, and something else I noticed, if you look at that controller, you can see that, number one, the shell doesn't look complete. Like, it looks like it's missing
Exactly. Right
outer parts. And also, that middle button, that is not a PlayStation logo. That's some custom logo.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through. He's playing. It seems to be moving pretty damn responsive. Okay? That's one thing I noticed. Because fighting games will let you know response. So. Looks good. Moving left, right, left, right. It's moving. Now, they're planning on having cheats, combos, a lot of things built in. Dr. Specimen, let me ask you first, how important are these things for a controller?
I don't know.
Okay.
I play PC, obviously. I could do all this stuff with software, so it's not really remarkable to me, but I'm sure that if you're somebody who's maybe doesn't play on PC and doesn't have access to those kinds of cheats, that this might be something a little more remarkable to you. And I know, back on like the NES and SNES, the things like Turbo and whatnot were a lot more lucrative, I guess. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna turn down the audio one moment. I don't want to hear myself screaming at myself. Okay, there we go. So one thing I can say nowadays, we're finding with a lot of people playing different online games is that you want to get an advantage. We do find that often. And I thought for the longest that a lot of these companies were trying to control, like, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, mainly want to control their controller market because then in online games, you don't have anybody with a controller to give you some sort of an advantage. And you can kind of control that if you're the company. But if you have third party controllers, now you can add certain features that could possibly change the playing field. Now, I'm for it, just so, but what do you think about playing a game against someone that has a controller that has combos locked in, a turbo?
I'm actually not for this at all because
Okay.
I mean, if modded controllers and modded inputs were such a problem, PC gaming wouldn't be able to exist. Free
Agreed.
and clear.
Agreed.
Where it becomes problematic is when AI and bots are making decisions for you. But having turbo, you still have to put that turbo under control. Like, for example, if you're playing Counter-Strike and you just have auto fire on, well, if you're just shooting at a wall half the time, that doesn't really gain you anything. I mean, you do need some level of skill. I mean, if you're good enough at the game, you don't like it's an acquired skill that even with the skill requires other skills to be useful. So
Agreed.
I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal either way.
Now, at first, I thought the same thing. I was thinking, like, man, this is not a big deal. But being at the fact that Sony had a recent court case, okay, and I got it right here. It was in the UK for overcharging customers and abusing control over its PlayStation Store and accessories. Okay? So, already current case of abusing practices, right? So, pretty much saying we're going to monopolize the market. All right? That's pretty much what that's stating. So, if you have third party controllers that are going to be cheaper than $70, let me ask you, what do you think is the price point?
45.
Okay. Okay. All right. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think 45? Y'all think lower? I think 45 with all the same things. It's wireless and you get turbo, different comp. I'm not lying, Dr. Spencer. Now, I would like to see it cheaper, but I'm not mad at 45. I think 45 is actually good. You're covering a lot of different costs, helping a lot of people. All right. Blizzard Fox, we got a 45 to 60. Okay. I can rock with that. 45 to $60.
I don't ever think 60 was a necessarily unfair price point. But that's how I felt about games, and we started getting that 70 to 80. Damn, I got those telemarketers.
Yeah, this is calling. I mean, I'm literally live. I don't know why. But anyway, let's continue.
Nah, that's basically it. Like I don't think anything up to 50 is unreasonable. 60 is like, okay, you got us back to where we were, fair enough. More than 60, okay, what's the point?
Yeah, I know. More than 60, I ain't gonna lie. And see, I'm gonna say with you on this. As far as 60, I think 60 too high, man. I think 60. I think $10 less. People will rather say, hey, if I have a problem with my controller, I can contact Sony. Right? Like, I think people, when they get a third party controller, at least me, I don't expect typically to be contacting the manufacturer for problems down the line. Some people do. All right, but usually when I got a Mad Catz, a Logitech, certain ones that was lower price. But if you get higher price ones, I understand. Like if they're elite controllers, I can see them having elite controllers with this. But let me also say that there was a big report that supposedly Sony cannot block this with a firmware update. Dr. Specimen, what do you think about that?
I think whatever they're doing is probably akin. I know we always have to bring this up. The mix switch. If it's just cloning whatever handshake the original controller does, then yeah, I mean, you can't change the handshake without either A, doing some really specific process that makes it obvious that you're just doing it to block third party controllers and that would piss a lot of people off, or you have to make every controller that wasn't manufactured before the handshake change unable to work on the console, which is, I mean, ludicrous. So they either got to roll with it or basically put up a message saying, fuck you, we're updating your controllers so that these third-party controllers don't work anymore, and if you have one, fuck you. Like, that's not gonna fly.
No, so let me ask, and I'm not too much into Sony. Like, I have a bunch of third-party PlayStation 4 controllers. I'm not big into PlayStation 5. I had mine and I sold it during the hot times, right? And I never went and got another. Do you have a PlayStation 5 and know anybody that has a PlayStation 5? And how is that controller market? Is it something where you only have Sony as an option?
You know, I don't own a PlayStation 5, but I've used a PlayStation 5 controller. It's good. I just, if I'm having to buy multiple controllers for multiplayer, I'm not going to want to spend. I mean, God forbid you want to do 4-player, and maybe everyone else doesn't have a PS5. So that's what, 714. That's $210 you have to spend on 3 extra controllers unless you buy them secondhand.
Now, do you think? Let's get to some nitty gritty shit, and then we're gonna wind up bringing Blizzard Fox in, and whoever else wants to say something. But I want to say this: since this is happening, that means that someone has somehow reverse engineered the hardware for the PlayStation controller. Is that correct? Let's start there.
I would assume so.
Okay. Is it possible that there is some information that they have to prove that Sony locked this down some crazy way?
I think that that's going to be the next thing they put out. At least I'd hope that'd be the next thing they put out, would be, okay, we put out this, in my opinion, very generic video about, oh, look, here's a controller that, like, kind of doesn't look like the original, and we showed a macro or something. I forget what they exactly showed, but here's our, here's a bit of our research. Like, maybe they won't give all of it so that people can't go and compete against them. They'll hide it a bit, but at least be like, here's a bit of our research. Here's some of the stuff we learned about how the PS5 handles controllers and handshakes and all that kind of stuff, and give us some kind of data and research to back up the existence of this.
I'm with you now. Good to see others in. I see a lot of y'all tuning in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. You can share the content, hit the like and all that. I appreciate y'all. We're going to go ahead and bring in my dog, Blizzard Fox. I do want to hear what Blizzard Fox has to say and also Blizzard Fox's opinion. So, Blizzard Fox, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear. So, Blizzard Fox, let me ask first, before we just went live now discussing this, is this something that's already been on your radar?
Yeah, it's been on my radar for quite a while now.
Okay.
Albeit this one specifically is new to me, given that I
Okay.
haven't been in the PlayStation sphere in a little bit.
All right. So what's the latest that you know about that sphere that you've been in, like as far as the controllers?
As for controllers, a lot of it is just mainly people just modding just the actual PS5 controllers itself. That way, like for mine, as an example, I have mine modded, so I have a few back paddles. That way it's easier, instead of using the face buttons all the time, I can map those onto the back paddles.
Nice. Okay. And that is okay. So it's all mostly, like you said, with actual Sony first party controllers just being
Yes.
modded.
Just kind of like if you're just modding an Xbox controller, or I don't know if Scuff specifically is if it's endorsed by Microsoft or not, but they do make pretty good controller for Xbox.
I think they used to sell Scuff controllers on Microsoft.com, but I might be wrong about that.
Either way, there's a lot of third parties that'll customize your controller using, or mainly using first party, so it's obviously working with the console itself.
Okay.
Albeit, as for third party stuff, I've been noticing that at least in the beginning when I got my modded PlayStation controller with the back buttons, I noticed that that they've been trying to lock down with more so like cheating devices, specifically like the Chronozen, the more famous one among that space.
Okay.
And
So you've
there's-
seen that kind of be a big issue already that they've been tackling.
it's been tackled for quite a bit a while. And the same company that made the controller that I have specifically, they also made specific other devices that supposed to bypass all that type of stuff as well. The controller I have does that, it's 2, and the only reason why it still works is because it's going through the PlayStation 5 controller.
Now, this that I've heard, this is the first time I've heard of this, and that post was about 2 days ago for this specific one. So for this board, has there been any news that you've heard of this specific board, or is this like the first time, this post is the first time that also you've seen or heard of this board?
I have not seen the board itself, albeit, or until I started watching your stream.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really tend to look on, what was that site again?
GBA Temp, and it used to be my main site, man. Like I remember back in the day, I used to go there all the time. Now it's like, you know,
We're calling GPA slop.
I really only go there if I'm just following specific drama in different spaces at this point.
yeah, they good for that.
Nick, you want me to throw a monkey wrench into this whole stream?
Albeit,
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead. What's that?
Apparently there's a Switch 2 out in the wild.
oh yeah, there's 2 actually.
Oh, so if you want to now, quick, fast, because I know this was the point
So-
of the Sony, but let's discuss that, please. Let me hear that.
Nick, is
Let me,
your DMs available?
I actually
Yes,
already
they
did
are.
it. I'm gonna throw it
Because
in the,
I can send you the video that I got before Nintendo decided to take it down within quite a quick method.
Dang. So it's out in the wild already. Dang. Okay. So I'm not gonna do it here because it's gonna get taken down. Right.
One thing that I
So-
can confirm though is that thing is very much locked down until the day 1 patch.
Okay. All right. So it's not much you're doing anyway.
You know,
I don't know about
I-
Switch 2 games, but it will not run Switch 1 games, and of course, people have it's already confirmed that
Yeah.
micro SD Express cards won't work until that update.
I was about to say a lot of things to shut off. Makes sense.
Something I'll throw out there because there's two. I've been seeing a lot of people being like, "Oh my God, Nintendo's locking down the Switch 2. This is anti-consumer bullshit." And I'm like,
That-
it's not released yet. I think this guy like
The majority-
stole it from his work or something was what I heard. So
That's one
yeah.
possibility, but based on how they react, it's probably just them just doing a quick open and then gonna return it back type thing. They didn't
Well,
even
whatever-
show anything beyond just the console and controllers on top.
Well, whatever the case may be, he's not supposed to have it yet. So yeah, of course the fucking thing doesn't work. It's not supposed to work yet. And I don't even think it's just to prevent leaks, because I've seen people like, oh, it's to
Nope.
prevent leaks. That's probably true. I also think it's to prevent research, because yeah, it's like, what are you going to do if you can't run your Switch 1 games or put in that? Like, okay, sure, you can hack the shit out of it and do whatever, but you're never going to get code execution in the operating system because you literally can't put a device in that holds code.
Right. And it seems like that I didn't know that the Twitter link was still working. I initially found it just scrolling through YouTube Shorts.
Go figure. Now, since we're talking about Nintendo, I was supposed to just, speak some, but now since we're talking about it, have you guys heard of a lot of people with Walmart having their Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders canceled when they ask
Yes.
Walmart a question? Oh my
Yes. And it's not just the Switch 2 itself. It seems like that anything related to the Switch 2 is getting canceled. 'Cause you know those new Walmart branded micro SD cards?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
tried
the
Yeah,
brand ones.
I tried ordering a few of those online. They just immediately canceled those.
Isn't it
Okay,
like
so
on or
you-
something? Like
Yeah, it's
ONN or
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
It's not just it's not just on. It's on.
Although I can confirm that I do have a couple right now. I
Right.
I managed to find them at my local one.
Okay.
I also
This
told
was
myself-
before everybody
so.
started buying them too.
Yeah. And I hit up a couple local ones. I've got a couple, I got a couple on things that worked out fine. I ain't got no
It,
problem.
Be sure to call in, given that people are grabbing them very fast. And at least from the few locations that I had, it's on average about 8 to 10 for the 512 gigabyte. I don't know about the 256 one though.
I will say too, if they're having issues with just the micro SD cards, it's probably just Walmart being stupid as Walmart usually is. It's probably not just a Switch 2 thing.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
again,
Walmart always.
I will say, I am much more excited for Deltarune releasing on June 4th.
yes,
Yeah.
Like,
That's pretty dope.
say what you want about the Switch 2.
I just want Deltarune.
You know what's funny? I have found a surprising, like, no shade to people because I get time zones are confusing, but I found a surprising amount of people confused about this launch of Deltarune because they're putting special attention to the fact that it's a Switch 2 launch title. So technically speaking, the game releases midnight Japan time on June 5th. So like
So it'll
Central
release to
Time
other
US,
platforms.
Yeah.
it'll release 10 a.m. Central Time in the United States, midnight Japan time. But if you get a Switch 2 and you live in either Australia or New Zealand, you get to play it like 2 hours early or something because it releases as soon as the Switch 2 releases in
Yep.
its respective regions. And that's somehow
Yep.
confused people. But
In general, I have a game plan to visit my GameStop, Best Buy midnight. I already have the pre-order secured. I just hope that the only thing that I wish that I could get my hands on but never got into pre-order or throughout the entire thing was the charging grip.
Now let me ask this, since I want to ask this about the PlayStation controller, and then Ben K said he was a little later. And Ben K, I'm gonna quickly break down. There is a board that's gonna be out in the wild. Not sure if it's already out there, but we have a video showing it actually being used in a controller that can be placed and used by many third-party manufacturers. And I'm expecting a flood to come through of a bunch of, Sony can't do nothing about it. What do y'all think about that? Like, I'm saying it's done.
I think they could. It's just that it's going to be met with a lot of backlash.
So let's say this: if we were to break it down, how does Sony stop it? Let's just say in theory, it can't be
Bluetooth.
stopped by. Okay. So how does that work?
hunt them down.
Okay, just from experience of just me following the whole like hacking devices going with the console or working with the console without anything else.
Okay.
And then the people making other devices to bypass that, the main reason why is because they're always changing the security of the PS5, how it handshakes with the controllers. So all they just really need to do, if it's mainly Bluetooth based, I don't know about direct wire. I haven't done that many testing with it. It's mainly just going to be that they just update the security to that only the PlayStation 5 controllers can have, given that the third-party stuff can't directly download that stuff unless someone reverse engineers that.
So now as far as Sony coming after people, right? Let's say an update, right? You said an update. What if an update cannot stop it at all, even if, just in theory? Who does Sony come after then?
Honestly, I think
Hunt them down.
they would probably just go after the manufacturer themselves instead of the people using the controllers.
Now, if we had to break that down in levels, you got the manufacturer of the board and the manufacturers of the controllers. Do they go after the manufacturers of the board? But the boards are not technically telling them to put them in the controllers and what to do with them and what to sell them as.
I think they would just go scorched earth. They'll go after anyone that they can try blaming it on.
Maybe they think you're using a modded controller. They might like issue PSN bans or something.
Yeah, definitely start issue. They've already done so with the cheating devices, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did it with this controller too.
Oh,
The thing is that if it's just a third-party PlayStation controller that doesn't have any of the bells and whistles of these cheating things, then I think PlayStation or Sony would be okay-ish with those being on the PlayStation, and they wouldn't really do that much, except maybe if they want to be petty, do the update thing.
Okay. I agree. That's petty. But, it's... I feel like you can't just capitalize on the market though. Also, right? You do got to have competition,
Yes,
right?
again, the only problem here is that it's going to be a cheating device. That's the
I
main
agree with
problem.
you. I agree with you on that. I'm not mad at that. I mean, be honest, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to on the controller. I'm one of the people that actually play a lot of single player games. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play on. I actually love it for my single player
Again,
games.
if it's something, or just again using or the Chrono Zen as an example, if it's something like if you're putting scripts onto it, yeah, I wouldn't blame Sony for either going after the company or start banning people using those things. If it's something for just like simple like rebutton mapping, then yeah, I would love that for a controller.
Okay. No. Well said.
Ditto.
Well explained. Now, I know I'm gonna have to be going to bed, taking my ass away because I'm gonna have to get up. You know, I'd have been live like I don't know how many times today. All right, this is like, but I wanted to make sure to get this news out. And I do want to have like a bigger discussion, but since we have it and it's towards the end and we're gonna get ready to be wrapping this up, is there anything that we can think of that we might say for a future discussion? I don't care if it's Nintendo. I know we got a lot of Nintendo stuff with the Switch 2, but it's getting close to that date, man.
Will
That
the
date
next
getting
Switch work with that?
Do we want to tease anything about the Michigan man? You know what I mean?
Oh no.
Or we're gonna save that.
What am I missing? What am I missing here, man? The Michigan
we,
man?
we we talked about it earlier.
Are you talking about
Earlier.
what we? Okay.
The only
Now,
Michigan man that I'm thinking of might be modded hardware.
oh gosh. Now, okay. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you can go ahead and we could. I mean, definitely, you can discuss
Well,
that.
so I'm not gonna talk about the deeper plans we have, but I will say I was able to pull up the most recent court document on that. His trial is currently set for 2026, so that man's got a lot of fucking time to fucking find God and like try and not take this to trial and get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, true. You know, if it makes it, like you said, if it make it there,
And
might
if
not
you're
make it there.
curious, if you go into Court Finder and you see that latest document's available, you know who to thank. It cost me a whole 30 cents, so I better get my fucking ego trip on this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
fair
30
enough.
cent, man. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you get it back. You know what I mean? Just on a couple people saying, man, thank you. That's all I needed, man. I feel
We need
good
that
now.
30 cent. We need that 30-cent super chat right now.
Yeah, 30. They'd be like, hey, I paid. Hey, man, now I paid for it. Somebody else said I paid for it now. I feel bad.
Oh god.
Then they pay them, and then they pay them, and they pay them, and they pay them.
One of those pay it forward movies, man. You know what I mean? So,
Soon everyone's just in
Man.
debt to everyone for 1 cent.
we'll split it in fractions. You know what I mean? A 16th of a cent. Nobody loses out.
No. Not even a 16th. Not even a 10th. We're doing 100th of a cent.
Hey, you don't feel that. You ain't nobody. If somebody tell me like, man, I'm not down with that. I'm like, oh my. How could you not?
Okay, to make it even more fun, we start doing it in every single other currency that is not the US dollar.
Yeah, we're just gonna switch to we're gonna switch to the fucking what's like, is it the Zimbabwe dollar that's like
Oh,
fucking
Thousands.
like $200 billion?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
the US dollar.
That's
Let me look it up.
that's how we get the fractions of a cent.
Yo, that is hilarious, man. Somebody just like the computer's like, I won't do it. I won't do this, man. It's stupid. It's dumb. Just for no reason. Ah,
Gotta
y'all
think Lynn
crazy.
is from Costa Rica.
I ain't gonna lie. And math is something else, man. Math and science. I love the hell out of them. Yo, my dogs. Appreciate y'all. Blizzard Fox, Dr. Specimen. Any last words y'all got before we out?
Do not cheat on the damn PS5.
Yeah, don't ruin this for. I mean, I know this is asking for a lot. Don't ruin this for everyone, please.
That includes those dang keyboard players.
Yeah, you know what's about to happen, man. Get ready. It's about to be ruined, bro.
I do have a question for everyone. And you
What's
can put
that?
this in the comments if you're watching this later. I'm getting a Retro Cult Mods Guitar Hero controller upgrade kit. I was curious if people wanted to watch me install that live.
Hell yeah.
Ah, nice. That would be interesting. Would be interesting. I think pretty interesting. So, in the comments, like you said, commentes, they can go ahead and put there if you be interested. We got it right now. Even one person. Can we get one? Can we get two? Can we get three? Can we get four? Can we get five? You know what I mean?
Well, that doesn't count because if he's the only one that says yes, then I'll just fucking call him on Discord.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So, yo, my
That
dogs.
actually, you know what? Actually, hold up. That actually might be how I do that. Sorry, I know I'm delaying you, Nick, but hold on.
Nah,
Yeah,
you
perfect time to chill. Let me go into here. And
Although, just quickly speaking back to the Switch 2, if anybody got theirs, I just hope that there isn't a fight going on at these places.
It will
join the Discord. Join the Discord, and what we'll do is I will hop in the Discord in the VC of the Discord, and I will install it in there. There you go.
That works for
be.
me.
There you go. See? Right in the Discord. Hop in there, pop it. You can get it popping. Yo, my dogs. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, I'm about to just lay it down. You can see mine. I didn't have, it's a full day. And I got to get back up. That's the crazy thing, man. So I'm gonna try to get 8 hours, which I ain't gonna get 8 hours. Hopefully I can get 6. You know what I mean? If I can get 6 hours, I'm good. So my
I know I'm
dogs.
about 12 this night.
Oh shit, you gonna be loved. Yo, Mo77, Camille, Ben K, Kyle. I know you went to bed early. Still my dog. I know. I see you. Okay, Sir Cali. I see you out there.
Blue Fox, Petrix,
Yeah, Blizzard Fox, Petrix.
Optimus 216.
Who else? Christoph. Who else we got? We seen, yeah, you got Ab. Ab was in there. We seen you all, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the like, share the hell out of this, man. We got, I guess somebody got to put it out and nobody else talking about it. You know what I mean? So shoot. Other than that, we